Hi, this is Patrik Antonius, and I'll play some PLO 5100 on full tilt, and let's see how it's gonna go. I played some 5100 PLO lately since there's been a lot of action in that game, and I played some of the hands with the GEOFF 7878 and Call South I played before, and how does it feel like a Baga Lion. I haven't really played with the Mickey guy, and only bought him for 10,000 because I don't want Call South to quit if he feels that if he's gonna feel that I'm gonna buy it in for 20,000. And if I win some hands, I want to keep him playing because I have a little position on him. There's just one player between us, and it's a decent game. Pretty good players for this with this limit. All these guys, almost all of these guys have played bigger, 200, 400, and even 300, 600. So they know what they're doing. If I drop limits, what I play to 5100, it changes a little bit because of my opponents. My game doesn't really change. So if my opponents play a little different, then I have to adjust. So you just always have to figure out how they play and what's been going on. And there's a very weird hand happening at the moment when Call South decided to raise, and then he got a good flop, Ace King 9, and he decided to check it. So I guess he doesn't have 3 aces here, but I can't really play with my King Queen here, and I have to let it go. But yeah, there's one thing I like about this limit, 5100, that people like to buy in for bigger amounts than when we played 500, 1000. It was very annoying that everybody wanted to play so high, and then they want to buy in for 40,000, and it's same as buying for 4,000 to this game. And now, like, it would mean that Call South would have 720,000 on the table in the 500, 1,000 game, and that Moose would buy in for 100,000, and Mickey would have 160,000, and it's like, so now we play real poker much better, much deeper, and much more skills. The money is not going in pre-flop and on a flop as often, so I almost prefer this. I wish it would just be a little bit bigger, like the 300, 600, or 200, 400 is pretty nice limit, and I don't like to play the bigger limits with the smaller buy-ins, and I really hate the cap games. That is, they should completely take the cap games off. That's not really poker, in my opinion. It's about other stuff, like really making a strategy for it, and there's so little opportunities to bluff. Like, it's not really like big decision making, and I know I can play the cap game and beat it too, but it just takes a lot of patience, and I don't want to even go to it because I would like them to quit those games. I have a button on a position. It's not a great hand, but I have a 6, 6, 9, 10, and pretty much what I'm looking for is a 7, 8 on a flop. I would hit a 6, 9, 10. I would have a wrap, 16 card trade draw, because I have one more 6 to block it. But also, I mean, in fact, like, many people look at this flop and they see I hit a top 2 here, and only thing I see is trouble. I'm gonna bet a pot here, but basically, if any one of these guys is gonna raise me, I'm gonna be in big trouble. They're gonna have, hopefully not a set, but they can have just a draw that puts me pretty much dominated. Like, even just having 10 Jack Queen, which would be opener straight draw with the flush draw. If they have a flush draw, they would have me completely crossed any 8, jack, queen, king, or diamond would just beat my hand there. So there's a lot of situations in Omaha that people get too excited. Like here, some people, if they hit a 9, but they have no kicker for it, and they get raised, they bet the flop and they get raised, and you almost know that you don't have the best hand, and then you just drawing for, you have the 9 outs to make a full house, and sometimes your opponent already has a full house. So there's some situations you have to be careful about it, and there's a lot of situations where you have to know when you have the best hand, and you have to bet big when there's a lot of draws, and you have to read. You just have to read the boards, read the opponents in the games, and try to put them to the hands. Well, I raised with a decent starting hand, ace, king, jack, 6. Well, the 6 doesn't help me pretty much. I don't like that in my hand, but it's a good starting hand, but it's really like it's not easy to make money with this hand, because like if I'm gonna fold that flop, I had a gotcha. But many times the flop comes ace, king, something, or king, jack, or ace, jack, something. Like everybody's usually gonna fold. There's not gonna be too many draws, and it's hard to make anybody put money in with any kind of worse real hand, like some worse aces up or something. So it's not easy to make money with those hands. You make money more with even with the hand like this. I have ace, deuce, 9, 9 with the 3 hearts. Like I can flop a 9, which is gonna be pretty much a middle set or a top set, and I can make the nut flush here. I like to raise here since I have a position, and many times I can just take the lead, and let's see if the flop comes. Maybe the flop would come like 3, 4 jack, and I would just bet it and get it here. But now I flopped a set, and I like to bet a little bit less than a pot, because I mix it up. But it's I think I mean, if he has a big hand here, you're gonna get all the money in. So it doesn't matter if I bet the pot 700 or 800, and if I'm bluffing, I'm gonna save 100 there if I don't have anything. But if I have it, it doesn't make a difference many times. But deep stack poker, I usually, when the stacks are very deep, then I like to bet the pot. And he made the flush and the river. That was pretty much a coin flip. I don't know if he could have even had a better hand. Let's see if we can go to see the last hand history. I mean, he flopped the top pair with the open and a straight draw and a flush draw, and a straight flush draw and a 10. So he can hit a 7 or 10 or queen or a flush there, and he can make a straight flush, which means that if I ever fill out, make a full house, it wouldn't be good. So there's gonna be a lot of situations like that just somebody's gonna flop a set, and somebody's gonna flop a big draw, and all the money's gonna go in, and you cannot see who's gonna get it. And that's why many people think that Omaha has so much luck and so much how you say, variance. But I think it's Omaha, like, people underestimate the skill of the game. There's so many things how you can outplay your opponents better. I'm gonna stop bluffing here, and I could still hit a 10, but I decided to give it up there. Those hands give a little bit wrong picture about the game. It happens. There's gonna be a lot of pots like that, but there's gonna be so many pots where if you play your hands proper, and you can buy the pots in a river, and you can trap your opponent. And it's about making big decisions on a turn and on a river. That it's not that usually you get the money on the flop. And I like to play deeper. If you play deeper stacks, like let's say I would have 20,000 there on the table, I think he would not probably raise the flop. He would maybe just call, because he would not want to commit. Not necessarily he would want to commit 20,000 with that hand, since if I would have there in that particular situation, I could have an overpair with a flush draw, then I would block his hand so bad. Suddenly he would just have a open and straight draw with a 10, and if the flush hits, he would be dead. So, but with 10,000 stack, he was comfortable to put all the money in, and he kind of liked the hand that I had, because he knows that his tens is more than likely no good. So it doesn't really. The only thing that I have a set that I have a bigger chance to make a full house than if I would have two pair there, for example. And I'm gonna fold here. He made a good play here. He checked the turn. He got his check raise. Well, he could have had just air too, and I'm gonna still raise this hand. It's a 4 cards. They I can't stop laughing when I read the chat. There's some Finnish guys chatting stupid stuff. I can check here. I can go for the check raise here. I would have check raised that flop if he would have bet, and I'm definitely betting now. I don't want to give him a free card to make a same straight or flush, or he could have a flush draw even though if he checked the flop. And so what I was saying, I don't know what I was saying about I got too confused with the chat. But like here I have straight blockers here, but I just don't think they're gonna believe me here. It's many times the blockers are good when you can fire 3 bullets and kind of force your opponents lay down a set or something, and I'm gonna try to bet it. Hope they can lay down some kind of bigger pair that I have, and if not, I would still have 5 or 4 or 3 many times to make my hand there. So it's kind of a smart bet. Like Omaha is it's a little bit. It's so different from Hold'em, because no limit Hold'em you just have hands and which you're gonna play in a certain way. You're gonna flop something. But Hold'em, you never have blockers. You have 2 cards in your hand, and you can always use 1 or 2. Or in Omaha, you have 4 cards. So there's so many times that, like here, for example, not too many people think that there's a lot of blockers. Let's say you have a 10 in your hand, and you have 2 4s. You can have 4 4 10 Jack. Then you block the 4s would block the straight draw possibility, and the 10 would block a possibility for someone having 10s up or top set here in a deuce 3 10. So like I could easily raise the pot here when he bets, because I know that it's very unlikely that he has anything big or nice, because he doesn't have a straight draw maybe, and he doesn't have 10s up or top set. And so there's a lot of bluffing involved with it just reduces the chance of your opponents having big hands, those when you have some key cards in your hands. And there's a lot of things going on. Like these kind of hands, people see that they are big hands. You see ace, king, jack, deuce, and for me, it's it's not too easy to make win big pots with those, having the best hand with those hands. It's just, I explained it before that like when you flop those hands, if flop comes ace ace something and or ace king something, it's like if someone has a straight draw, they have a 10 queen jack and it's only 9 card straight draw, and they want to just call and see if they're gonna get it, and usually turn they almost have to give it up, and it's just no action in those kind of boards, like even this flop here is 3 queen king. This is, you can still have a like ace 10 jack, which is 13 card straight draw, and maybe you can have like how would I say, let's say you have king queen there. It's like it's not too easy to win a big pot. I mean, no one's gonna go crazy and raise you back and forth with like bottom set. Maybe set of queens, it happens. Set against set, it happens many times in Omaha. But I like more boards when it comes kind of low cards and middle cards, and then the board changes so much. There's always a bad card on a turn. Usually the top set doesn't stay as a top set or the best hand, and the board changes so much in those boards when it comes like, you know, do 3-6-8 or 3-6-9 board. There's no good cards, and then you always have to make tough decisions later, usually in those hands. If you play deep stack, many times if you don't play deep stack, you just stick it in on the flop if you have a big hand and you wanna be committed. I'm gonna do something unusual. I'm just gonna limp from the button. I like a strategy that I raise pre-flop, if even like more if there's limpers. There's certain hands that I like to limp, and they're usually hands that I'm very unlikely to hit anything on a flop. That if I have a pair, and sometimes I can have like let's just say like 7-7-6 and ace. Maybe I have an ace high flush draw and that's it. And hands, some bad kings or bad queens, and sometimes bad aces too. Bad aces are pretty bad to play, because I mean, you're only gonna look for the ace on a multi-way action pots. You can flop 3 aces, or then you basically have nothing, and you almost don't want to have too much money in there before the flop. If you play 300-400 pot with those hands, it's too many times you just have to give it up, and they have a possibility. They have an option there usually to raise you out with a pair and some draws, and I managed to raise with 5, 7, 9, 10, which is, it's a decent hand in this game, and I'm not gonna fold it. It's I hope they have aces and kings, and this is very interesting, because now the Mickey guy, the Mikey G16, he could have aces too. They could both have aces here, and the only thing I don't want to see here, I put time. Only thing I don't want to see is like 9, 10. Queen jack. I don't want to be blocked. I kind of know already that my hard draw is gonna be probably blocked, but I can't fold it anymore. I have 2,000 in and 67 to call on, and I just hope they have it like ace ace king and king king ace and all those kind of hands there. Let's see what they have. Yes, ace 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 and king king. I was in a very good situation there in that hand. If I make my hand, I win. And the Mickey guy had ace 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 eight. I was just telling about that hand that I mean, that's bad aces, and that's very bad aces to have 3 aces in your hand, because you're just not gonna flop the ace almost never. and but he decided to play that way, and if he would have got the money in against Harrington, just heads up, he would have been in good shape because he had kings, and it's different. You see, there's a lot of action in 5100. As I raised as call, and call south re-raised, and I have the aces, but I'm gonna raise it now. I really hope they're gonna fold. I don't want to see hands like 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, Queen Jack, and you know, it's like, otherwise I have to really like make a full house or some kind of nut flush to win the hand, or some kind of big straight, and let's just see what's gonna happen here. I have a bad situation here, very bad. See, this is like call south is. He had like a huge hand before the flop there. Like we had 2 guys had aces, the Jeff guy and I, so we can't, either of us can tier an ace, and if call south would just make 2 pair, it's almost always good, and we block all the cards, each other's cards. That's like the worst situation you can get in with aces, pretty much. If he doesn't make it that hand, then we even chop the pot. We just get half of call's money, and but that was pretty much it. That was pretty fast, 30,000. So that was my PLO session. I hope you enjoyed watching me, and I'll see you at the tables at Full Tilt Poker.